Well, welcome back to another screencast. The purpose of this particular screencast is to review another of the assignments for your young adult literature class. So once more, we're going to head to Live Binders, to the binder for LSSL 5385, the young adult literature course for this semester. We're going to click on the green tab for assignments, and this time we're going to look at the annotated bibliography assignment. This again is one of the earlier assignments that you'll do. I think that you'll find once you get the hang of it that it's again another assignment that you won't find terribly difficult to complete. When you open the tab, you see a link, obviously, to a Word document. Again, you can simply open the document, you can save it to your desktop, you can save it under a different name, put it on a thumb drive. Just make sure that you've got a copy so that you can refer to it as you're working on the assignment. The annotated bibliography, and as a matter of fact, all of the assignments you're doing for this class are really part of a TK20 assessment. I'll talk more about that when we get to the youth literature essay, which is the final piece that you'll do for this class. But all of these pieces kind of fit together to demonstrate to us that you understand, in this case, Standard 2 of the AASL standards, which is a knowledge of literature and reading. So this particular assignment asks you to put together an annotated bibliography. You're to choose a wide range of current and classic titles for children, teens, and professional educators, and put together an annotated bibliography with those three sections. The first thing you probably need to do is to pick a universal topic. You see I talk about it right down here. Universal topics include things like bullying, the environment, survival, social justice, exploration. In other words, topics, subjects, themes that can cross disciplines, that can cross grade levels without any difficulty whatsoever. I've given you 5 or 6 suggestions here. If you have a different topic that you'd like to address, all I ask is that you run it past me first so I can make sure that it's broad enough for this particular assignment. So what you're going to do for this assignment is first select your broad topic or theme. I'm going to show you one that will do bullying, and I'm going to show you kind of how to start building that out in just a couple of minutes. Once you have decided on your topic, you're going to be looking for books, ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels, picture books, informational books, magazines, websites, audio clips. In other words, a wide range of media that would fit under this particular umbrella of bullying. You're going to seek 30 resources. Those 30 need to fall 10, 10, and 10 into 3 categories. The first category is pre through 5th grade. So if you're finding sources here for elementary school age kids, that would include picture books and chapter books. That can include short videos that you can show them, websites where you can take them. That's one section. You should have 10 resources there, all on bullying. Then 10 for 6th through 12th grade. We're talking now tween and teen books here, so middle school and high school. And finally, 10 items for educational professionals, so teachers, counselors, administrators, librarians, anyone who is associated with kids in the school. It's important that the titles and the medium that you pick include diversity. Diversity in terms of appeal to different genders, male and female, different ethnicities, different socioeconomic groups, different religions. So a broad range is what we're looking at here. Books and materials that would reflect the kids that you have on your particular campus. So I think we're about ready to take a look at the tips here, and then we're going to go on and look at how you might put this together. Some tips for the assignment. Everything that you put on this annotated bibliography needs to use APA format. Again, if you're not familiar with APA format, you can go out. There are several online sources where if you put in the information you have about the book or the website or the video, they will go ahead and put that in proper APA format. You'll find them out there. It's really not difficult at all. Bibliographies are always arranged in alphabetical by author order. Always. So each of your 3 sections, the P5, the 612, and the one for educational professionals, need to be labeled and they need to be sorted alphabetically as you do that. Annotations need to be short and to the point. I suggest you look at the CIP information for guidance. If you're not familiar with CIP, that stands for Cataloging and Publication. Pick up one of your young adult novels, look in the inside, and you'll see CIP data, and basically what you get are 1 or 2 sentences about the book. That's it, and that's all I'm looking for on these annotations, is just a little snapshot of what I'm going to find when I look at them. Remember to include non-print resources, included but not limited to ebooks, audiobooks, websites, and videos. There are certainly other places that you can go as well. Make sure that you get approval on your theme if you're not going to do one of the ones that I've presented here. You cannot use any required books from the front of your syllabus for this assignment. And of course, as always, if you have questions, holler at me and I will do my best to help you. What I want to do now is exit out of the directions, and I want to show you one way in which you can search, I think, in a meaningful way for the resources that you'll use. I don't know how many of you use Tidal Wave. I use it on a fairly regular basis. Tidal Wave, TITLEWAVE.com is the Follett website, and lots of librarians use it, to order books, to do things like that. I tend to use it to locate resources, to pull book covers, to do things like that. I find it very useful for me as well. I can also put lists together and save them and send them to everybody that I want to who has a Tidal Wave account. So if you don't have a Tidal Wave account, it's free. So once you set it up and you go to Tidal Wave, all you have to do is log in. You can see that it knows me here. And one of the things that I can do with Tidal Wave is I can do an advanced search. You can see that right here. I can search for particular titles. That's easy enough. But I want to do an advanced search. And so my keyword or keywords, I'm going to try bullying, bullies, and bully. I think that that's probably good. I don't need those in the title. I don't need to give them an author or publisher. I don't need to give copyright years because remember, I'm looking for older as well as newer. Do remember, though, that I'm looking in different categories. I'm looking for kind of a P5. So for those, I would check these 2 boxes, kindergarten through 3 and grades 3 through 6. That gets me a little bit above the P5 level, but I think that's fine. There's bound to be some overlap, and I can make some decisions as I'm putting my list together as to what's going to go in one list versus what's going to go in the other category. I don't particularly care for other languages there, but if you'd like to select languages other than English, you can do that. As a matter of fact, you can highlight English and Spanish, and it tells you how to do that with the control keys. Don't particularly need a Dewey range because I'm looking for basically all classifications. So if I don't hit any of these, click any of these, it will give me fiction and nonfiction, biography, autobiography, easy, story collections, and reference. I don't need a particular number of reviews nor any specific place for reviews. And so now what I do is simply click Search All Titles. You can see this is very quick. This is kind of like an Amazon search. And it yielded me 181 items. They're sorted by copyright year. I could have them sorted by other things. That's totally fine. But I like sorted by copyright year because I can look at the most recent and then I can go back in time and pull up some others. Here are some books right here. And you can, by the way, you'll see that This is available in a variety of formats. It's available as an ebook. It's available in a paperback. It's available in a follette-bound glued one, and it's got a reading interest level of 5.6, or reading level of 5.6, and the interest level is 3rd through 6th grade. So that would fit in my K5 category because that's what I'm searching for first. So let's say that I decide, okay, I want to hang on to the ebook and maybe just the ebook for this one. You see I clicked that I wanted, and I'm going to add the wanted item to a new list. So I click on that to a new saved list, well, and hope it's going to let me do that. There we go. It'll ask me, what do I want to call this list? I'm going to call it my bullying list. And I can put notes in there if I want to say anything in particular, but in this case I just need it to say bullying list for the purpose of this. So I go back now and I click back on want, and I say, please add this to my bullying list. That book has now been added to my list, and we're going to go back and look at these in just a few minutes. But let's continue scanning here. We've got several different Are You a Bully? Are You a Bully? Books here, but if you look, this next set of books is different. It's a different author, it's a different publisher. So again, I might want to consider one of these, whether I want an ebook or a paperback or a hardcover, doesn't matter. So let's just say I'll take this one in hardcover. I'll add it to my list. Now I have 2 items on my list, and I continue to scan down and look at other books. Here's one called A Bully-Free Bus. I do think that that's probably a good book for me to add to my collection. By the way, I don't have to click on add every time. I can just scan down and click multiple things, but I want to make sure that I'm pulling in everything that I need here. Here's A Bully-Free Party, A Bully-Free Playground. You can see this is a series of books right here. So A Bully-Free School. What I might want to do is just take one of these and in my annotation make a note that this is a series that includes other titles. So let's say I'm going to take A Bully-Free School, and that's an ebook. And I'm going to scan back down here again. Bullying with Words, Teasing, Name Calling, and Rumors. Again, these are all books for my pre-K through 3 audience. If you'll notice here, remember I had 181 different things to select from. I've already added 4 to my list. I can continue doing this, just kind of clicking on different books that make sense to me for this young audience. And notice I'm looking for some things here. This looks very much like a very young picture book, good for pre-K kinds of things. Here's something on online bullying, certainly something that's kind of new, and that might be an interesting one. I'm just going to continue clicking on ones that I want to add to my list and continue going through here. I may very well end up with more than 10 books, but I'm starting by just kind of looking at some different kinds of materials that I might use here. So far I've got hardback and paperback and ebook. I'm hoping that eventually I'll get to video and things like that. Here's a What to Do If You Are Bullied book. That could be useful for my bibliography. Notice I'm still looking at books that are very recent here. So here's one called Bully by Patricia Polacco, certainly one that I want to pick up here. And I keep adding these to my list and going through the different pages here, the 181 titles. And remember, these are arranged by publication date, so I'm looking at the newest ones first. I'm trying to find a range of reading levels and interest levels. This is a 3.4 reading level with a K through 3 interest level. So I'm reaching down a little to some of the younger audience here. I happen to know this one by Stuart Murphy. I really like it an awful lot. Frida Stops a Bully, available in different kinds of formats. So I'm continuing to look at different sources to mark them and add them to my particular search here. I can continue going through this, through the different pages. I'll take you here to one of the last pages here, and you can see that it goes back now through 2000, 1999. I'm starting to pick up now a few that are older titles, which I certainly want to do, because chances are your collection in your school has some of these older titles. So I've added to my list, and now I want to take a look at what I've got. I've got 19 items, and remember, this is my my PK through 5 list. So I've got more than what I need for the 10 that I'm going to eventually use. I've got 19, and most of these are books. I want to then go on and see, can I find some things that are audiobooks? Can I find some things that are websites? That might take me out of Tidal Wave, take me to a Google search, or a search of some of the resources that I have online in my own school. I'm going to continue doing this advanced search for the different groups now that I have. So remember that the keywords that I chose were bullying, bullies, I think I need to spell that right, and bully. That seemed to be pretty good terms to start with. Now I'm looking for those middle grades, those 6 through 12. So I'm going to check those. Again, I'm going to stick with English. I don't particularly care about classifications. I want them all. I don't care about reviews, and I'm going to search. And again, you're going to see that for this particular instance, it pulled up 90 items, including, look, here's a DVD. So now I'm starting to get into some other media. I've got ebooks, I've got hardbacks, I've got paperbacks. And again, when I click on these, as I start to build this particular part of the bibliography, and I check on the materials that I want to make sure that I have, and I want to come up here and grab this DVD, I'm going to save it to a different list, because this way I can keep my pre-K through 5th grade separate from my 6th through 12th grade, separate from my professional. So I'm going to say, yes, give me a new list. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to call this Bully 6 through 12. Just something to remind me that this is what I particularly want. I go through here and I build this bibliography. Then when I'm done with the 6th through 12th grade, going through the 4 pages, the 90 items, should have no trouble at all coming up with 10. I'm going to go back to advanced search. I'm going to type in my keywords again. Bullying, whoops. Seems I have trouble typing the word bullies for some reason, and bully. And I'm going to now come down here, and I'm going to say I'm looking for adult and professional books that I want for this particular category, and select. And this time it comes up with 88 different titles. So I can look now and see which books would be good. Defeating the Culture of Bullying, that looks like that might be kind of an interesting book. An Action Plan for Teachers and Parents certainly would be something that I'd want to look at. Here's a Playaway digital audio book. So again, I'm looking at different formats here. Bullying Hurts, Teaching Kindness Through Read Aloud and Guided Conversations. These are all, I think, really good places to start. Leadership for Schools that care about every student. So I'm going to go through here and I'm going to pull up the books that I really do think would be good professional books. And again, as I click, I'm going to say that I want to add these to a new saved list. I'm going to go back to the screen that asks me what's the name for this list. So I'm going to call this Bully Adult. Bully Teacher, doesn't really matter. Any of those will work, and save. And now I've got those that are added to my list. Once I've done this, I am going to go out I'm going to do a further search for more audio-visual kinds of things and for websites as well. I'm going to add those. So I've got these saved here at Tidal Wave. I can print them out. I can refer back to them. I'll pull the others from websites, from other media kind of sites as well, and that will help me put together my annotated bibliography for this class. Once it's all put together, remember the 3 sections, P through 5, 6 through 12, and then educational professional, making sure that each of those 3 sections is alphabetized by author's last name, and everything is in APA format, and then I've given 1 or 2 sentences kind of description of each of those. Once I've done all that, then it's ready to be submitted. This goes to Blackboard, and it is due by midnight on the due date that's been assigned for it. I hope that this helps you get a handle on how to do this annotated bibliography. This is, again, something that you can start working on almost immediately. Get it pulled together. You can always submit work early. What you can't do is submit work late. So if you get this done, get it off the grid, get it turned in, I think that that's just one less thing that's sitting on your shoulder. Now, the next time we come back for screencast, I'm going to talk about a different assignment, but I hope this will help you put your annotated bibliography together.